guys, what's going on? Jada Reporter coming at you once again. And of course, every week we do this, it's against the spread. Now, this week's games are a lot closer in spread count than usual, so it's going to be a decent mix. Some of these games were harder to pick than others, so let's go ahead and hop right into this because these videos typically take a little longer to do. Now, first game on the docket is the first game that I'm actually going to care about for obvious reasons if you've been watching my channel. Pittsburgh, Tennessee. They're giving Pittsburgh a 1.5, and typically if the range is between 1 and 2 points, you are just picking a winner for the most part. I'm taking Pittsburgh with points, and the reason for this is because I'm believing Pittsburgh's offense to be superior to Tennessee's defense. Now, when Tennessee really hasn't played any teams that are really worth their stock, maybe outside of Buffalo, but they have Buffalo's offense isn't high octane. No one says, oh, you gotta watch out for that Buffalo offense. No, Buffalo's just a solid football team. That's what people have been saying about them. They're just solid. Now, looking at who Pittsburgh's played, they played high-powered offenses, teams that like to run the ball with a quarterback that can do well when they're able to run the football. If Pittsburgh can stop the run, which in this case, I'm leaning more toward them in this matchup simply because Tennessee's missing a left tackle that doesn't bode well for being able to throw the football against a team that likes to bring the heat the way Pittsburgh does. Reasoning for my pick. Now, next game, Bills-Jets, largest spread of the weekend. Bills -10. I see no reason to not take the Bills in this one as well. I mean, you could front the Jets 20 points and they'll probably still blow it. That offense is horrendous. Outside of Jamison Crowder right now, there is no bright spot for that defense, and that's pretty much how I'm looking at it. Now, next game up, Browns, Bengals. That game's a little bit harder to pull. Now, the Bengals have been playing well, but not well enough to win. And in this case, I would have given them 3.5. It was a very close game the first time they played. I think it was a 5-point game. And with this game being in Cincinnati, thinking maybe their home field's worth 1.5, maybe even 2 points. But I really wouldn't have gone this way with it. I think the Browns bounced back after last week's beatdown by Pittsburgh. I'm believing they do bounce back, and this is the kind of game you want to bounce back in. So, okay, we got our teeth kicked in by a rival. Now we're playing another rival. Let's get it going. Let's get it in gear. Let's get back to basics. And that's the big thing here. You want to get back to basics after you get your teeth kicked in. That's pretty much what you want to do because that's exactly what happened. They got their teeth kicked in. Now they have to get back to basics, kind of pressing the reset button a bit there. Now, next game up, Cowboys, Washington football team. And I'm going to take Washington against the spread. The spread's only one out. So basically in this one, you're picking a winner. The Cowboys are demoralized, ladies and gentlemen. There is nothing more to say about that. They are absolutely demoralized. If you have any Cowboy offensive player on your fantasy team, like I do, you would consider benching them if it didn't mean that they weren't going to be throwing the football a lot. Because you thought you didn't get handed off to Zeke. All Zeke did last week was fumble the ball twice. Now you're playing against a real defense. So even though Washington has struggled to win games, this is a real defense in Washington. So I'm going to hold on to that team with a good defense against a team with no defense, which honestly, I'm going to start calling them the Alice Cowboys because they have absolutely no D. Now, up next, Lions, Falcons. And this is a matchup of two hapless teams. Two teams that should fire their coaches. Two teams that should look to move on from their quarterbacks. Two teams that should be looking to rebuild. But since we're not talking about that, we're talking about whether or not you want to take them in the point spread. Falcons -2.5. I will take that because the offense can produce against almost anybody. That hasn't been their problem. Their problem has been on defense. Offense has not been an issue. Next game, Panthers, Saints. And I had a tough one with this one. I was going back and forth because I really like what the Panthers can do offensively, but I think the Saints want to establish dominance inside of the division, and you don't want to lose this kind of a game because this is a trap game. You can lose this game if you are the Saints. but I believe they're going to come out a little more focused. They came out coming off a bye week, so it's pretty much a rested game, 2 weeks to prepare for a team that doesn't have any glaring weaknesses offensively, doesn't have any outlying strengths. So in this one, you just put together the best game plan possible to just go out and produce. And that's what I got the Saints doing in this one. So Saints against the spread -7. Next game, Bucks, Raiders. Tough one with this one until the offensive line news that broke during the week happened. Raiders have just had a abysmal week of practice. I mean, we're talking offensive line not being there. You got tight ends and guys that are going to be filling in. This is going to be a beatdown. And not just that, you're talking about the Buccaneers, who have one of the best front sevens in football, and you have to go up in there with basically a scab offensive line. That's not going to cut it. They're giving the Raiders 4.5. I think that's not enough. I would actually increase this to maybe 8 or even 9. But since they're doing 4.5, I'm gonna take the 4.5 against the Bucks because I just believe they're gonna be getting that involved. And also, the Bucks did just sign Antonio Brown. I'm gonna do another video about that in a little bit too, so you'll be seeing this T-shirt again. But I think that may actually help them, but not as much as you think it would. Now, moving forward, next game, guys, 49ers, Patriots. I'm taking the Niners plus 2.5. And this is a tougher game to pick, mainly because the Patriots have been high and low, never really finding a good flow. And most of that's because limited practices, Cam missing basically 2 weeks of practice, and it was just a hot mess. I don't really believe that this team is going to be on the field well enough to win these games. They've proven they still need weapons. So lack of weapons, the 49ers are getting healthier, so to say. Their secondary is getting a little bit stronger. The running game can probably prove to be a bit more tricky. And also, I really do believe Jimmy G can probably read this defense that he was looking at for the bulk of his career. I believe he can read that defense. So I'm thinking that if you're going to give me 2.5 with the Niners, I'm going to take it. Maybe I want my foot in my mouth, maybe not, but I'm feeling really good about this pick. Next pick, you guys know my rule with this team. It's the Kansas City Chiefs against the Denver Broncos. And like I said, I'm going to take the Chiefs until further notice. So in that one, I will certainly take the Chiefs -7.5 against the Broncos, who are struggling to keep healthy bodies on the field. Next game up, Jags, Chargers. Had a tough one with this one. The spread was 7.5 against the Chargers. And I think I know the reason why. It's because the Chargers struggle with big arm quarterbacks. Not necessarily saying that Justin Herbert is that guy who's going to just get it down the field, but this Chargers offense can move the ball. They can score darn near at will. So we're looking at a Chargers offense that's going to be putting up points in this game. I don't think the Jags can hang with them. I know everyone's in love with Gardner Minshew and everything he can do, but his numbers are extremely lackluster this year in comparison to how it ended last year. So it's a fairy tale story that's going to have a real life ending, and that real life ending is going to be being humbled by a team that's not as good as advertised inside the LA Chargers. So I'm going to take the Chargers in this one against the spread -7.5. Next game is the night game, Sunday night, Seahawks, Cardinals. The Seahawks seem to be playing like the marquee game almost every week. Every time I come home from work, late night or whatever, I can cut on the TV and I'll more than likely see the Seahawks. That's what's coming in with this on Seahawks cards. I like what the Cardinals did last week, but we all know a game against the Cowboys is fool's gold for anyone's offense. Because right about now, you can take the offense from any CIAA, MEAC, SWAC team, play the Dallas Cowboys, and still hang 35. That's how bad that defense is. So with that being the case, I will always take a team against Dallas. That's just how this has been programmed. Now, with that being the case, like I said, the Cardinals have a lot still to prove to me. So this is a prove-it game. The same way it was for the Browns last week, it is for the Cardinals this week. Prove it. You say you're ready. You say you're big time. You say your team is. Prove it. This is your prove it game. I don't got them proving much of anything. Taking the Seahawks against the spread -3.5. Next game up, the team I believe in, I believe everyone should believe in, I believe can actually scare someone when the postseason hits. The Chicago Bears will go one-on-one with the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams proved to me last week that they have no clue who they are. Are they the team that came back against the Bills? It was an impressive showing, but it wasn't a loss. Or are they the team that caught that L to the San Francisco 49ers? I know it's a divisional game. I get that. But in a game against a team as short-handed as San Francisco, you had to come out and win, and you did not. I cannot believe in that team. And the fact that they said that we believe in the Rams so much that we're willing to spot the Chicago Bears a touchdown, I'll take those points. So in this one, Chicago against the spread, not against it, with the points +6. So guys, let me know what you think about these comments down in the section below. Also, do not forget, like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. My name is Jay the Reporter, signing out. Peace.